What is garbage? Garbage can be anything, ranging from thrown away food, empty water bottles, or chip bags. Anything that has been thrown away is garbage. There are also several types of garbage. What happens to garbage when it is thrown away? Most people simply put their garbage into a garbage can and stop thinking about the next steps. However, there is much more than just putting your trash into a can and waiting for trash day to come around. First, garbage is picked up by a trash truck. Pretty basic, right? This truck drives a certain route, taking people's trash once a week. Once the trash has done its route, it goes to a landfill and dumps all the trash it has collected. The cycle doesn't end here, however. All that trash doesn't just magically disappear from the planet. It stays there, piling up over time in the landfill. Most of the trash doesn't biodegrade, so it just sits there. There are a few types of garbage, or waste, that's taken to landfills. First of all, there's food waste. This is just scraps of uneaten food that is thrown away. Food waste is able to rot and degrade, so it's the least dangerous to the environment. However, man-made waste usually can't biodegrade, and so it just sits in landfills. One of the most dangerous types of waste is electronic waste. This consists of any electronic materials, like computers or TVs. The reason these are so dangerous is because electronic waste is hard to recycle. It also contains toxic materials such as lead and cadmium. So how exactly do landfills harm the environment? First of all, they pollute the ground underneath them. The soil that landfills are on becomes permanently unusable, even if the landfill is cleared someday. Too many toxins sink into the earth. Also, any groundwater under the landfill is poisoned and can't be used. Landfills also produce methane. Methane is a deadly greenhouse gas that rises into our atmosphere. Greenhouse gases keep heat inside of our atmosphere, instead of letting it out. This is one of the leading causes of global warming, and the higher number of landfills is only harming the planet even more. Some trash isn't taken to landfills. Instead, it is taken to incinerators to be burned. While landfills pollute the ground and are generally unpleasant, incinerators are much worse for our environment. Burning waste releases toxins into the air. These toxins were trapped in the garbage, but after being burned in the incinerators, the toxins are released into our atmosphere. Also, during the incinerating process, these toxins can form together and become stronger toxins. Garbage isn't only sent to landfills or incinerators. Lots of garbage is irregularly thrown into the ocean by regular people. This is arguably worse than dumping trash into landfills. Trash thrown into the oceans can never degrade. Instead, it just breaks into smaller pieces. These pieces become bite-sized for fish and other animals in the ocean. Often, many fish mistake pieces of plastic for food and end up killing themselves by eating the toxic material. This, in turn, leads to larger predators like sharks and even humans to digest fish and plastic when we eat them. Fish eating plastic isn't the only harm that's been done by polluting the ocean. One of the most dangerous items to aquatic animals are the plastic rings that hold 6 packs of soda. It is very common for animals like birds or turtles to get caught in the rings and suffocate to death. On some occasions, turtles can get stuck as babies and grow deformed because they can't get out of the rings. There's also much more pollution in the ocean than someone might think. Over time, humans have dumped so much garbage into the ocean that an entire island of trash has been developed. This island is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The patch is roughly the size of Texas. If we don't stop polluting, it will only keep growing. So what are some of the long-term effects of polluting our oceans with plastics? Well, a group of scientists predict saltwater fish will be extinct by 2048. Due to excessive fishing by humans and eating plastics in the ocean, many fish are dying out. Many species have gone extinct or are at risk of extinction because of pollution. Who pollutes the most in our society? Is it big corporate factories that spew waste into the air, or is it the common people who casually throw cigarette butts or plastic bags on the sidewalk? The answer isn't very clear, but both people and factories heavily contribute to the problem. Common people individually don't pollute a lot. However, they pollute enough so that when looked at as a country or a large group, the effects are devastating. Most of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is made up of plastics that people throw into the ocean. It isn't dumped by garbage trucks, it's thrown in by regular people at the beach who are too lazy to put their trash in a trash can. Over time, that has destroyed ecosystems and polluted our oceans. Big corporations also pollute the earth. Factories produce air pollutants and greenhouse gases every day. They also produce liquid waste, which is dumped in rivers and the ocean or is buried in the ground. This poisons anything it touches, rendering the ground or water unusable. So how can we stop pollution? Well, entirely stopping pollution is nearly impossible since it would require an entire revamp of corporations and the government, which neither party would agree to. However, we can do our best to reduce pollution by starting small, like using reusable metal water bottles instead of buying plastic ones. We can try to recycle more instead of throwing everything away. We can also do our best to get governments to pass laws that protect the environment.